All right, back from our ad break. This week we reviewed Nope. We went and watched Nope, directed by Jordan Peele, starring Daniel Kaluuya, Kiki Palmer, Stephen Ewan, and Brandon Pereira. So, man, there's a lot to take in about this movie. We're going to go into non-spoiler first. What do you want to start, Anthony? Cons, of course.
Um, Cons. I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't. I didn't recall my thoughts yet. Um, One thing I didn't like about the movie is I feel like in the beginning they did really really well with this. I feel like we were just as confused as the characters were in the movie. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the second half of the movie, the characters kind of knew more, or it seemed like they knew more than we did. I feel like,
Like what?
well, I can't really say, but there were just things like they just kind of knew how things worked in the movie, and I feel like the movie didn't explain to us how it worked. If that
That
makes
sounds like something we can discuss more in the spoilers, right?
Yeah,
Like different aspects, or is there like a specific thing you're thinking of?
a specific thing.
A specific thing. Okay, we can talk about that then. I do have to say, going into it, it's definitely not what you expect. Like the twists and everything,
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. It really makes you think about aliens differently. I could just leave it at that.
yeah. I will
Yeah,
say, okay, this is a pro and a con. So
backhanded, bro.
yeah, pretty much. I love the fact that he went in such a different direction than what you're expecting in this movie. Like I feel like no one would have guessed this, like in 100 years.
I sure
But
didn't. He kind of baited you too.
yeah. And so I don't know. I feel like no one really expected what he did. And so I loved and the fact that he made his own unique take on like what's at hand, and he did good. Like everything about the movie, he did good explaining it and making that world.
Yeah.
I didn't like the concept though. I didn't like what he made, if that makes sense. Like he did it well and I would watch it again and everything's good. I just didn't like
So
his
you're saying
version
prop?
of what his thoughts of what they would be like.
So you're basically saying props to the originality, but like it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
That's fair. I saw this movie twice, and the first time I kind of felt the same way. I was like, "Oh wait, like that's it," kind of thing. Like I was expecting more. But the second time around, when you're like looking at all the details and stuff, which is what I love about his movies. If you've seen any of his movies, you'll know what I'm talking about. Where you put the puzzle pieces together as the movie goes
Right.
on, and
Right.
then I mean, sometimes the twist gets you more than you think it will, but the puzzle pieces from the second going is just crazy how everything fit perfectly. But
It's true.
enough little bit of summary. We're gonna go into I'll talk about one Connor. I didn't really and Stephen Ewan did a really good job. I just didn't really care for his character all that much. I get why his character was there. I just didn't really care for his whole portion
Which
of the story.
yeah, I agree. I
He played
okay.
Jupe.
I don't want to go. Okay, I'm just gonna say one more con real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
I think that whole side story with him was kind of pointless. I didn't see like it didn't contribute to anything. I think maybe it was supposed to draw us into the character, give him a little background so we could like feel emotional for that character.
Mhm.
But it didn't. I don't know. It seemed
I'll
just
tell you.
it's pointless.
I'll tell you this, it's not pointless. I'll explain later. It's not
Okay.
pointless. I just didn't really care for his character. And then that's another con I can get into real quick, non spoiler. Is Daniel Kaluuya and Kiki Palmer, terrific actors. They did an amazing job. Just like the writing though, I feel like they didn't give us enough time to really get a connection with the siblings because they're playing a brother and sister, in my opinion.
I disagree with that honestly.
Really? Like I didn't feel like emotionally connected to him.
To either one of the characters,
Not really, no.
really, I did.
Maybe Daniel Kaluuya's character, but
Dang, it's crazy. I didn't feel emotionally connected to what's his name,
who? Brandon?
the Asian.
Blonde hair. Oh, the Asian.
When he was,
Oh, Steven Yeun,
yeah, I
Asian
didn't feel
man.
connected to him even a little bit.
I don't think we were supposed to. It was just more like um. Well, I can't really say that. I was gonna say it's more like I was gonna explain why his character was there and stuff, but like yeah, I don't think you're supposed to. But um, that's all I really got for cons that are like non spoiler.
Me too.
You know, but I do have a lot of pros. So you want to get into that?
Yeah. Do you want to go first or me?
Up to you. You want to go? I can go. We can both go at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, three, two, one. I liked them.
No.
No.
Nope. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, everything was like so beautiful. I knew it would be. Jordan Peele's movies always are, but I loved it. I loved like the sky scenes. Everything in the sky was
Yes.
amazing, and I felt like besides like the side plot, I actually felt immersed in the movie. Like I felt like I was there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think it did a really good job of that until like the later part of the movie. I didn't feel as immersed, but especially when times when I'm not gonna say it's a spoiler, but the like the raining scenes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I felt those. It was crazy.
I
Um,
thought for a movie that most of it was shot at night, dude, nighttime was beautiful.
it
And a lot of the
was
time when directors or cinematographers film at night, at least like as of recent history, it's
super
people will
dark.
say, yeah, people will say, oh, it was too dark. But
Yeah,
like it was
it's
so
perfect.
visceral to
Yeah,
see like everything, like the sky and everything. It's like dark blue, but
right.
it's nighttime. It was crazy.
It was perfect. And I also oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, the suspense value that was in the movie, especially like the very beginning before we knew what was happening. You were like on your edge of the seat. Like he kept you in suspense, you know, because he like no one really knew what was going on.
Yeah, no one knew what exactly was going on, what the thing in the sky was, which
Right.
it's in the trailer. So what if it was carrying aliens, if it wasn't, if it was just like because they like dived into that too, like UFOs and like all that research and stuff like that,
Yeah,
which is
that was crazy.
beyond crazy. But one of the greatest things for me, especially in the third act, was like the music. For me, this movie, because it's so original too, this is like this decade's like Jaws. Like it gave me a Spielberg-esque vibe, and like instead of the water, it's in the sky. Like it's just kind of like they're trying to
Oh
capture.
yeah.
It's pretty crazy. It's like really crazy, and just how original it was. That's the only reason I compared to Jaws, just how original it was too. And by
Mhm.
the end of the movie, it makes you want to like think about it more. Like after Jaws, you're like, shoot, like I don't. Do I want to go into the ocean on the beach? You know, the people get scared of sharks. At
Right.
that time, I would think it makes you more think more about UFOs and aliens and stuff like that, and looking up in the sky
Yeah, that is crazy too.
because it's just like his whole theme is pure spectacle, which we can get into more later. I'll pass it back to you.
That's me. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay, well I got a couple more I can say that are not spoiler. Um, I do think this film is a lot more straightforward than his other films. You'll still
Yeah,
find meaning in the metaphors, but it is a lot more straightforward, which I think audiences will more resonate more with. Like just general moviegoers, if they don't want to think too much, just turn off your brain and watch.
I do agree.
Um, and then, like we said earlier, it's really great build up. He knows how to balance suspense and like comedic moments perfectly.
You think there's comedic moments?
They literally had jokes in the movie.
Like what?
Uh, well, this isn't a spoiler. I mean, it kind of is, but like it's not like to the main plot. Like, so whenever something bad would happen, the main character would just straight up look at like whatever that bad thing it is, and he would just be like, "Nope, nope." Like I'm not even gonna mess with it. And I think that's so funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily. That's like comedic aspects. I don't think he went for comedy. You know what I mean?
No, he didn't go for comedy. It was just he sprinkled in some jokes though,
Like, yeah.
here and there,
I
which I
don't
thought
know.
he
I
balanced
didn't really get
perfectly.
any kind of. I didn't laugh like at
You
all.
didn't laugh?
I thought it was very
I had
serious
some
stuff,
people laughing.
which I like though, because I don't. When it's like a serious movie like this, I don't want comedy. You know?
I don't mind it if he can balance it really good, which I think he did. There was only like 2 or 3 jokes in the movie, but like I thought he balanced it perfectly. Like it was in the perfect spots. If I were to put
Right.
any jokes in the
Right.
movie, but that's about it. I thought it was it's definitely a spectacle. Like he's been saying, he's been campaigning, marketing with. It's definitely a spectacle that I feel like everyone should go see. So I would highly recommend it.
I would too. I would as well.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
All right, thanks for watching. If we're gonna go into spoilers, you can stick around if you've seen it. If not, then we're gonna do a deep dive too. If not, then we're gonna see you later. See you either mom for us, and check the link in the description of YouTube or any podcast platform you're looking at, and you'll see all of our social media, and our merch store is open. We're still selling some caps and bucket hats and stuff for the summertime, which is coming to a close. But yeah, that's about it. So adios. In
Okay.
prime Edward fashion. Wow, I can't believe Kiki Palmer died.
Nice.
It's funny
Um,
how non spoilers we can't really get into like the monkey scene, but like now we can.
I want to save that for a second.
Okay, we can talk general stuff in a minute if you want to just talk about more cons or something. Okay.
Anyways, I think we should just kind of go back in the same order that we said in the spoiler free. So I think my first con was that in the very beginning of the movie,
Bro.
we knew everything that the characters knew, and we were in the dark about everything the characters were in the dark about. And then all of
Mhm.
a sudden, once the main character, once he learned that the alien was alive and that he had to eat, I feel like after that moment, for the rest of the whole movie, the characters knew things that we didn't know. Like they had made this plan, and we didn't really know what the plan was too much. And they're like, I don't know. I just feel like they knew too much about the alien, about like what it needs and what's going to happen if they do this plan and how to defeat it and like all this kind of stuff.
When you say you think they knew too much about the alien, what do you mean? Like, what did they know?
Like everything I just said.
But you just said you didn't like how they had a whole plan. But
No, no. They knew that the alien had to eat. They knew it was alive. They
it
knew that
was
what
a
would happen
living.
when it carried out this plan. They knew how to defeat it. They knew all that stuff, and we didn't really know that. You know, we
I
just
wouldn't.
watched them do it.
I wouldn't necessarily say they knew how to defeat it. They were just trying to capture a shot, the Oprah shot, the shot that will make them famous with the camera. All they needed to do was lure it out, and they found out that and they hadn't been at. There was only one horse left. It was Lucky, and he was
Okay,
stuck.
that was the other thing. How did they know how to lure it out? And how did he know that if you look at it in its eyes, it'll eat you? Like this is stuff that you like. It never kind of told us. It was just like, oh yeah, now we know. You know what I mean?
No, Daniel Kaluuya's character figured it out because he
How?
would look at because he was thinking. It showed he was thinking back to how horses are animals, and
I
he was
know,
thinking
but
about
that just I don't know. Personally, I that reasoning was dumb. I did not like that. I was like, okay. It was basically like, oh, I know because it's part of the plot. You know? Like
no,
there's no
he
way in
got
real life his that a random guy like that is gonna figure out that the alien's alive and then he needs to eat and that you can't make eye contact with it. Like there's not enough information. You know what I
No,
mean?
the whole point of Daniel Kaluuya's character, he carries a flip phone, dude. The whole point of his character is he's very old fashioned. He doesn't get caught up in social media. He doesn't care. Like when Brandon Pereira's character was talking to him about, oh, the government talks about aliens. Like, are they gonna come down from these saucers, study us, the UFOs, or they're now UAPs, whatever they're called. They changed the name. Are they gonna study us? Are they gonna destroy us? Things like that. Him and everyone else that's like all like caught up in media are so focused on those theories and stuff like that. Nobody knew that this thing would be an animal except for
But
OJ.
how did he know? There's no way he would have known. That
because
he
because
knew
he's
because it was part of the plot.
no, since he's not caught up in all the social media and speculation stuff, he doesn't really care about those theories about green Martians and stuff. He was
That
even
doesn't
when
that
he was
doesn't
talking about Brandon when he was talking to Brandon Pereira too, he was like kind of confused. Like he was just like, oh, okay, like this dude's just talking about that. And then he sees the pattern, the way it eats and when it eats at night, and it's taking the horses away. And and then they would give it other stuff like the horse decoy, and it wouldn't eat it. It would just like swallow it and spit it right back out. That's when he thought, oh, maybe it's an animal. And then the whole eye thing is when he thought back because he plants it in his mind that he already thinks it's an animal. That's his theory.
Well, I get that. I understand what you're saying. I'm just telling you it's not realistic, and don't buy it. You know what I mean? Like I understand how they explained it. I just don't like it. It doesn't
I
make any sense to me.
I can agree. I think it was corny whenever he was like, "Oh, well, my horse didn't like when it saw its reflection, so maybe this thing doesn't like it either."
Right.
I do think that's a bit corny, but I do think it's like it doesn't like bother me too much, if that makes sense.
It bothered me quite a bit, but that was like one of my biggest flaws, honestly.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And
I
also, like they saw it spit out the horse once, and they saw the little flag dangling, and then all of a sudden they knew that was its weakness. Like I was watching the movie, I felt like I was, a part of the movie, and I was just like, oh, I don't know, it got like stuck to the saucer or something. You know what I mean? How was he's like, oh, it's an animal and it doesn't like flags, it doesn't like stuff like that. Like that doesn't make
Or
sense.
it doesn't like anything it can't eat, so it's got to be edible.
I know. I don't know.
Yeah,
That part threw me off too.
that's just more into like what you were saying previously.
And
But
then can I just keep saying my cons real quick and then we can go
yeah,
into
yeah,
positives?
yeah, you're good.
But if you have cons, you can jump in. Another con is it didn't explain why it turned into this like figure in the sky towards the end.
Like it terraformed.
Yeah, like I didn't understand any of that. And
Well, what?
okay, this leads into another thing. The ending, like a couple things. One,
Why don't we?
she got the what?
I was gonna say, why don't we save the ending for later?
Okay, that's fine. Let me think if I have any other cons. I think the other con I have is just the monkey stuff, but we can talk about it in a second.
The monkey stuff. Okay, well, all I had to say is, and this isn't a con to me anymore, but it was at first. At first, and it's my own fault. I came into the movie thinking like, oh, he's gonna do this really cool twist on like what aliens are gonna look like, or like the Martians, or like, and then like I was thinking like, oh, the reveal at the end is gonna be like they're coming down from the ship or something, and they're like stealing the horses because they're using them for like tests or some something like that. So at first, I was a little disappointed at the reveal, and I thought like, oh, that it just kind of after that it kind of fell flat because I was disappointed. But the more, like I said, the more I thought about it, the more original I think about it, and the more I think of other alien movies and how nobody's literally like I don't think anyone's really done this. Maybe they
Yeah,
thought of the concept, but it's never been like brought to film. The more I really appreciated it and thought like, no, this is like his mark on like alien movies. Like he's this, and like a lot of people are gonna remember this. So that's what I thought it was really cool. It's
yeah, I
kind of turned
agree.
into a pro, but so that's
I
about
can
it for cons.
I can see other movies like from now on kind of taking the same concept like hereafter.
Yeah, like a bunch of UFOs are gonna attack or something
Yeah. Or no,
crazy.
I mean like the living UFO thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
the animal, which is crazy. It's funny too because he made it look exactly like how Hollywood makes UFOs look.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he kind of played into more of us thinking, oh, it's gonna be an alien inside.
Right. But the way it flew through the clouds and everything was like amazing.
Dude, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's like just imagine running from that and it's just
It was
like
like so
holy
secret.
shit,
It's like, damn.
scary.
Um, do you have any more cons?
No, that's it for me. Most of them came out from the.
Okay, then can we talk about the chimpanzee stuff before going into pros?
Mm-hmm. Sure
Um,
can.
so yeah, just I I thought it was pointless. So tell me why it wasn't.
The whole scene with him and Stephen Ewan
All the scenes.
of the monkey.
Yeah,
Okay, so basically, the monkey, what happened? A balloon popped, right, and then it went out of control.
right.
So the whole premise of that is you can't just control animals. You can't take animals like that, and it can't control them. You can't control an animal like that to do what you want it to do. And Stephen Ewan's character was the only one that survived, or except for this one girl that was like scarred. But Stephen Ewan's character profited off of that. After that incident, he profited off of it his entire life, and he thought eventually he could tame. He found the alien. He found out about it. That's why he's been buying the horses. He's been using them as bait, and he's been practicing for a show. The first
Mhm.
show he ever did, he thought he could profit off of and show everybody the whole spectacle of it all, which goes back to the theme of the social media and stuff, and people like being in awe of everything. Um, and but it ended in the same result. You can't control animals because they're just going to get out of control like that, like nature. And it's also focused on, like I said, spectacle and the whole concept of a bad miracle. Like OJ's dad died, and it was a bad miracle. It was bad because the dad died, but it was kind of a miracle because he saw a freaking alien,
Yeah.
which that's a bad miracle for Stephen Ewan. It was bad that everyone died, but it was a miracle that like everyone saw the alien and the like
Right.
the spectacle of it all, and just how, and like that's the whole point too with oh, don't look at the alien. The alien is supposed to be the spectacle, and that's why everyone died, because nobody looked away. They were all
Yeah.
in awe of a spectacle in the sky, a huge event in the world. It's kind of like saying also in the real world, like how people can be easily distracted by big like events when
Right.
other important stuff is going on, like in media. That's kind of how I took it.
That's fair. I can see that now.
Oh, I
Um,
also forgot to mention the only thing I was confused at that I had to look up was whenever he was staring at the shoe that was just standing up.
yeah.
So the point of the shoe, whenever, because the monkey's attacking and he's under the table and he's looking at that shoe.
Right.
The point of that is he survived because he was looking at that shoe. It was a miracle that that shoe was standing up. It was a bad miracle because the miracle was the shoe was standing up, but it was bad because like the monkey's killing everyone. And without that shoe, without him paying attention to that shoe, he would have paid attention to the monkey and he would have like stared at it in its eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like he
But
would have probably died
he already did stare at it in its eyes.
afterwards, after the fact.
So
Like
like
while the monkey was attacking and stuff, he could have like focused on the monkey and then like messed up or like did
wait, but
something wrong
the monkey stopped attacking the girl, and with the same
and
logic, he would have calmed down. Then why did he attack the dad?
and then looked at him because the dad was like looking at him straight in the face and was trying to
Well,
run.
so was the kid.
No, he wasn't trying to run though. He was like standing still. He was looking at him. Also, I
The
hear
dog was standing
there's
still.
also people saying that because he was under a table and the camera showed like his eyesight was like through the linen of the table, and
I
they're
don't buy
saying
that.
that's why the monkey didn't really like do nothing when he looked at him because he couldn't see through the
I
linen.
don't buy that. I think the monkey didn't attack him because of the connection. Like they created that fist bump together. You know what I mean?
That too, yeah.
I think that's the only reason that he didn't die. I didn't think it had anything to do with looking in the eyes.
I do think it was the creepiest scene though
Yeah.
of the movie, but that's basically how you can explain the monkey scene.
Um, I guess I do understand that. I still think it was pointless though, because you could have left out that entire little sub story. You know?
You could have, but it plays into more of the metaphors he was trying to convey.
Yeah, I guess so.
I also really like the title cards he used with all the horses. I thought that was pretty cool,
Yeah, that was cool.
pretty clever.
Did you ever get the impression that the alien was just after Lucky the whole time? Because every time something bad happened, Lucky was there every time, and Lucky survived every time. That's why he kept coming back.
I didn't think about that. Like he's like, I will get this horse.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking the whole movie.
That's
I was
kind of
like, there's
funny,
something about the horse. There's something about him, and then there
dude.
wasn't.
Every time the alien would get a horse, dude, the way the horse would scream, bro, is creepy.
Yeah,
Like, ah!
and
And
the
I'd be like,
people.
what? Yeah, the people too. That was horrifying. Seeing them all going up the chute, and you don't know what's gonna happen to them. I mean, you assume they're gonna die at the time, but
Yeah,
you don't know what the thing is at first. Any other pros, or you want me to go more? Because I got more.
yeah, we can do some pros.
Um. Oh shoot! Actually, I think I gave them all. I kind of gave my whole spiel with like because I guess I'll just wrap it up with the monkey thing. Because I said like about spectacle, I kind of explained all the little themes, and I really enjoyed themes like that. I really enjoy themes like that in movies. So like that's just a pro on its own. I really enjoyed all the messaging, metaphors, and themes he did, which I didn't think was as like complicated as his other movies. I still liked him in his other movies, but this one was more straightforward. That's about it. I could say Kiki Palmer did a really good job. I mean, they all did, but Kiki Palmer really stood out. She was really energetic.
Yeah, I think so.
That's all I got.
Um, I mean, I feel like a lot of most of this podcast have kind of shit on the movie almost. Uh, and I think that's just because the good parts were just amazing. You know, like the good parts kind of speak for themselves, which is 90% of the movie. You know, like everything was extremely well thought out. Like he took his time with this. You know,
Yeah, you should have seen my face when they showed the fake aliens in the barn.
what you think? I knew they were fake.
As soon as you saw them,
Yeah,
why do you say that?
I could just tell. Well, for two reasons. One, I was like, okay, there's no way that like I knew this movie was going to be more about like the suspense aspect and like the UFO aspect. So I'm like, no way they're going to show the aliens this fast. For one, you know.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, especially once they started moving, and the other one popped its head out of the door, I was like, okay, they don't look like that. They don't act like that. Like this isn't scary enough for Jordan Peele. Like this, you know.
But how would you know they don't act like that? What if he did want them to act like that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I was right, but
I
I
did
was like,
realize I did realize it though whenever the last monkey popped up, the last person,
yeah, on the right side.
because you can clearly see it was a costume. So I was like, but I really like that choice because it kind of baits you, like being
Yeah,
like, holy crap, like that's what the aliens look like. But then it's not, so you're left thinking like, well, crap, how do they actually look like? Like, what are they?
yeah,
And then the twist of the century, it's a freaking animal.
yeah.
But if you don't have any more pros, we can talk about the ending. You
Yeah,
want
let's talk about the ending.
okay? What did you want to start with? Because you brought it up.
I have two questions, and they're kind of like cons in a way. One, well, okay, there's really three. Let me just say about the cops. There was like the cops just conveniently showed up at just the right time, and I think they were supposed to like have seen the alien. You know, I feel like that was the whole thing, but there's like no one around. You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Oh, you mean at the very end, whenever they showed up, like when you took the picture?
Yeah, like where'd they
I
come from?
thought I thought those were reporters. Was it police?
Maybe it's
I
reporters.
thought that was a
It
bunch of
was at
reporters.
least it was at least police. It was probably both. But the two other things, the two other questions, is she took the picture and then like left. She left it there. Like that was their whole thing is to get the footage, and then she just left it. You know?
They didn't leave it. It didn't show her leave that spot. It just showed her get up and look at her brother in the distance.
Oh, I thought she
Wait,
left it.
you think he's dead?
Who?
Her brother?
Obviously not.
What? No, I think he's dead.
It showed him.
No, I think that was just like his spirit. Because, and I only reason I say that is because it showed him out in the distance, and then there was a sign at the top, and it said "out yonder," which kind of made me mean like in the afterlife. Is what I kind of thought, and he was just kind of like it was just kind of a moment where she's thinking about him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm proud of you. Like
I don't.
we did
No,
it."
I don't think so. I think that was him.
I think he
100%.
died. I think he died.
Really? I
Hmm.
don't think he died at all. But okay, that's interesting. I have to like look at it again, watch the ending scene or something.
Poor Lucky.
The last thing I didn't like. This was like the biggest part that was unanswered for me. What happened to the body of the alien?
Oh, like the ship, the animal.
Yeah,
It was just kind of floating, right?
yeah, it's just there. Like, what happens now?
But yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, is it gonna fall down, or are they just gonna like? Is it just gonna start flying, and then everyone's just gonna be like, "What is that?"
Yeah, well, I think they kind of hinted at the fact that they like killed it.
Yeah,
It's like now what happens to the body, you know?
yeah.
So, but what were you gonna say about it?
Kind of funny how stupid they made the alien. Like they saw the big old balloon and they're like, "Ooh, let's eat it." I get it's an animal, so it's probably like, "Oh, I'll eat anything. Let's try this thing, see if it tastes good."
Yeah,
But um, other than that, I found it ironic. The ending, I found it ironic. This whole time they wanted to do like, "Oh, let's get a super clear shot of it, like in HD and 4K with like these big old cameras and stuff."
and then
But
oh
in the end,
yeah,
it was just a well. It was just like the
yeah,
stereotypical like bad picture on
right.
like a weird on like an old fashioned device or something. which could mean that people might not even believe her.
Right, exactly, yeah. And that was like the whole thing is like all the pictures of an alien, they're always bad, you know?
Yeah,
So it makes you think like, oh, what if someone else kind of went through something similar?
yeah.
Because the only good pictures you can get are pictures like through the well or through like a non-electric camera.
I would love to see, and I don't want this to be a movie, but I would just love to see where the alien came from.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Because if it's its own thing, if it's not like people driving it or like creatures driving it or anything, from then like where did it come from and why did it land on Earth specifically?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I don't know. I thought it was a very interesting movie.
Oh, okay. Last thing, last little thing, and then sorry, I feel like I've
You're good.
brought
You're
up
good.
a lot. Why does it spit out metal? Because it doesn't want it.
Yeah, I think it only wants like flesh and blood.
Then why did it spit out the blood on the house?
Oh, forgot. Sorry, I forgot to spell out the blood.
Is
No,
that
no, no. It wasn't spitting out the blood. I mean, it was, but it was trying to split out all the coins and keys people had, like in their wallets or pockets. And I guess the blood just came with it, is what I'm assuming. Like they
I
had to
guess
spit it
so.
out, but you know,
Yeah,
that's my best guess. I would say. So there's that. You ready for ratings?
yeah.
All right, let's get into ratings. You want to
Yep.
go? Or you want me to go? You want me to go? I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5. I'll.
Dang.
I would give, and to preface this, I would give his first movie, Get Out, like a 9.5. I would give Us a 9, and then I would give
You
this.
know.
I would only give this an 8.5 just because, like you said, some of it is not really like super believable. But then there's like other little things that I said about it, that, like little nitpicks. But like the other movies, I didn't feel this way about. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So like this one's definitely the weaker of the two, but they're all pretty close. I would say they're all not too far off.
I now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen Us.
Oh, you should. I love that movie. Not that many people are as high in that movie as I am, but I really love that movie.
Hmm. I after talking crap about this movie for the last 30 minutes, I was gonna give it a 9, but now I'm in between an 8.5 or a 9.
You have to choose young blood.
I think I'll. I think I'm gonna go with the 9 because there were some aspects that I didn't like about it, and some things that I just personally wish weren't there or were changed. But he just took so much time and effort into this movie, and you could tell like it paid off. Whether it's like the visual or the music or like anything, like the suspense that he gave. I just felt like
But
he, huh?
I was just gonna say, like, even if you didn't like it, like some scenes, you knew what he was going for.
Yeah. So I'll give it a 9.
Okay, we're just gonna wait Edward's thing, and then y'all can check back on the Instagram page if you want to look at the average, or you can just do the math yourself.
Yep,
If you can.
8.75 so
Oh yeah,
far.
1.75 so far, which is looking pretty good for Jordan Peele. He's one of my favorite directors now. Now, like,
He is.
in modern day
What's
Hollywood.
funny is like when I watch his like stuff that he's in, like acting in,
Yeah,
I would never expect him to write these kinds of movies or direct these kinds of movies. I mean,
he's really smart, dude.
yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, that's crazy.
He's making his mark on horror slash thrillers, and you know, it's awesome. It's awesome to see. But on that note, we are going to get out of here for the week. Make sure you say hi to your moms for us, and you check all the links in our description, whether you're on YouTube or any podcast platform, and check out the merch, like we said before. And we're out of here. So later.
See ya.